I'm going to show you the best mutations in Grow a Garden, and I'm only talking about the ones that actually make a difference. We're starting at 50x multipliers and going all the way up to the triple-digit ones. And yes, even that super secret mutation considered a myth in the game, with a multiplier over 200x, starting with SUBZERO. Everyone remembers the admin abuse before the corrupted Zen update, when Jandel pretended he was Fortnite and decided to bring in a celebrity for an in-game event. Travis Kelce, a famous football player. But if you're not that much into sports, you'd probably only know him as Taylor Swift's new boyfriend. SUBZERO is the mutation that came from the first admin abuse event called Root Runner, where Travis ran around the stadium glowing a blue aura that froze everything, made it snow, and summoned tornadoes that applied the mutation of the Get Over Here guy's enemy. It turned your plant icy blue, with a glowing blue aura, some sparkles, and snowflake particles. SUBZERO gives a 50x multiplier to your plant. LIGHTCYCLE. One of the latest admin abuses was this super original event that absolutely no one has ever seen anywhere else, where you have to move forward while the entity is at the end of the hallway and stop when you're being watched. The entity in question is actually the Blood Owl, which instead of turning its whole body, only turns its head in a way that makes it way freakier. And you can even hear the character's heartbeat while the event is happening. At the end, you get a cosmetic, but also, during the event, you have the chance to get the LIGHTCYCLE mutation applied to your plant, which has a 50x multiplier, and makes your plant alternate colors between the main traffic light colors. The only question is, why did Jandel wait for the round 6 hype to completely die before finally adding the doll event to the game? Fortune. In the Beanstalk update, a new divine pet was added to the new Sprout egg, which takes over 4 hours to hatch, and gives you only a 1% chance to get the rarest pet of the update, the Golden Goose. This was the first pet in the game capable of giving an exclusive plant through its passive, and also the first one to bring along an exclusive mutation that only the goose can apply. Its passive is, every 13 minutes or less, it drops a golden egg in your garden, which functions as a regular divine single harvest plant. You can either sell it or keep it in your garden to obtain other mutations. It's a normal plant that the goose plants. However, every golden egg already comes with the Fortune mutation by default, which has a 50x multiplier and makes your plant glow with a golden metallic color. But the Fortune mutation isn't exclusive to the golden egg, because when you sell it, there's a chance this mutation will be inherited by another random plant in your garden. Sliced. During admin abuse before the trading update, Jandel cooked. Like, literally cooked. He showed up wearing a chef's hat and that classic aura farming pose while holding a sword, and he just shredded a poor chicken that exploded into like 49,000 pieces scattered across the map. And then he did the same thing, but to the map itself, literally slicing it in half and leaving all the players floating. Would have been cooler if everyone actually fell into the void for a few seconds when the map split, though. The sliced mutation makes your plant look crooked or just weird. It might split it in half, flip its fruit layers, or just straight up deform it. It's ugly to the eyes, but beautiful to the wallet, because at least it gives a juicy 50 times multiplier to your ugly plants. BLITZSHOCK. Still in the same event, Travis triggered the lightning storm, another admin abuse where he became Zeus and pulled off that TikTok lightning trend, causing a bolt so powerful it turned the sky into night and made everything spin like that one scene from Marvel's Moon Knight. And then Travis's electric balls started falling from the sky like it was meteors, exploding shortly after and spreading electricity, which could apply the BLITZSHOCK mutation to your plants. Another 50x multiplier mutation that also turns your plant blue, but this time neon blue, and wraps it in this awesome electric effect, just like Travis had on him while he was aura farming during the event. Ancient Amber. Amber was the first ever mutation in the game to have different phases, and it gets better as time passes. It also evolves over time in real-life days. It has 3 stages. It was added in the prehistoric update alongside the dinos. Currently, there are 2 ways to get it, but only one of them lets it evolve through its phases and multipliers, and that's with the Amber Spray. The other method is via the Raptor's passive, but not only does the Raptor have a pathetic 2% chance of applying Amber, it only applies the mutation after the plant is harvested, which means it can't age and evolve. So you need to use Amber Spray, which applies phase 1 of Amber with a 10x multiplier, and puts your plant inside a block that looks like the frozen mutation skin, except this one's yellowish. After 24 hours, it evolves into Old Amber, turns more orange, and bumps the multiplier to 20 times. And 48 hours after that, it finally reaches its last stage, Ancient Amber, which raises the multiplier to its max of 50 times. Rainbow. This is one of the rare variants that can happen to any of your plants. or pretty much none of them to be honest, since the activation chance is a miserable 0.1%, which mathematically means 1 in every 1,000. People also call these variants growth mutations or environmental mutations. That's even how they're listed on the game's own wiki. The rainbow turns your plant into an RGB cycling spectacle, slowly shifting its colors, and of course a rainbow appears above it, although here it looks like there are at least 3 of them. The other way to apply rainbow, but in this case as a regular mutation, is through the butterfly. The mythical pet whose passive is, every 30 minutes, it picks a plant with 5+ mutations, wipes all of them, and then applies the rainbow mutation with its juicy 50x multiplier. It's all fun and games until the butterfly removes all your 5 plant mutations better than rainbow and absolutely murders the value of your plant. Cyclonic. This mutation arrived with the addition of the divine pet Griffin, which was included in the second part of the Beanstalk update. And besides already being divine and badass on its own just for being a griffin, a mystical creature, its passive glorious wings also has a very useful dual function. Every 15 minutes it flaps its wings, generating a cyclone. And if the cyclone hits a pet, that pet will have its ability cooldown reduced by 1 minute, increasing the overall productivity of your pet squad. But if it hits a plant, that plant will have a 10% chance of obtaining the cyclonic mutation, with a pretty generous multiplier of 50 times. Its skin will feature an animation of blue particles being pulled toward the fruit, along with a wind animation as well. Friendbound. This one's still kind of a mystery, to be honest. Every source says something slightly different. According to the wiki, one way to get this secret mutation, which has a whopping 70 times multiplier, is through friendship pots. You know, those where you have to keep a streak with a friend and the pot plant grows over time, and once it's fully grown it applies the friendbound mutation, and that the more friendship pots you have and the longer your streak, the higher the chance of it happening. Another method is by having 5 friends online in your server at the same time. That means 6 people total playing on the same server, which can also trigger the mutation. The skin turns the plant kind of Barbie-ish and spawns these little heart particles floating around. The hardest part of all is definitely having that many friends, almost as hard as this channel hitting 50,000 subscribers, considering only 5% of people watching are actually subscribed. 5% is crazy, guys. Please subscribe so I don't have to pull your foot at night. Just kidding. Infected. Everybody knows Jandel loves aura farming. He's the star of every admin event. We've already checked the boxes for Laser Beam Jandel, Raiden Jandel, Anime Jandel, God Jandel, and now we've got Walking Dead Jandel, where he triggered an event called Brains and turned into the Zombie Lord, causing the zombie invasion. While holding his badass staff, the entire map turned dark green, and only Jandel emitted this light green gamma energy. And that's when he summoned the zombie horde by slamming his staff and calling down lightning. That's when the Dead Rails NPCs started crawling out of holes to invade gardens, with a chance to apply the infected mutation to your plants. The skin turns your plant fully green and emits green particles. Jandel really loves sparkles, and the only thing brighter than the color of this mutation is its massive 75x multiplier. It's basically an upgraded version of the zombified mutation the Chicken Jockey applies, which only gives 25x. Unfortunately, Infected is exclusive to live admin events. Warped. This time, not even Grow a Garden escaped the BRAINROT wave, because in the admin abuse war, Jandel and Scammy Sammy fought the most cinema battle since Avengers Endgame. And one of the events from this admin abuse was called BRAINROT Stampede, where several red portals appeared on the map, and Sammy's giant BRAINROTs stormed through everything furiously. And while that was happening, you had a chance for the warped mutation to be applied to your plants. The other way to get warped is through the ability of a mythical pet that was given as an exclusive reward in that same admin war event, the Apple Gazelle, a gazelle with the torso of a sugar apple. Its passive gives a 2% to 4% chance of warped being applied to a random plant in your garden when you harvest a sugar apple. Its multiplier is 75 times, and its beautiful skin will leave the plant with this swirling effect of purple particles around the outer part of the plant, and another more circular swirling effect through its center. Jackpot. This also happened during admin abuse with Taylor Swift's boyfriend, where Jandel took a break from aura farming and went straight up just flexing, throwing his Jandollars in the air, which were actually tomato bills. Then sparkles started raining down all over the map, and along with them came something else. Know what it was? That's right, all the Robux players lost when they got scammed trying to get that 0.08% naughty kitsune, which made the community go after Jandel's neck, until he had to publicly apologize in the Discord server. Anyway, forgive my boy, he ain't done nothing wrong. This mutation lives up to its name. because it gives your plants a multiplier of 77x. That's a real jackpot. And the skin is super sick too. The plant sparkles and shoots out piles of Robux like a slot machine. It literally makes it rain Robux for you, just like I'm doing with a gift card every day on my subscriber-only Discord server. But it's only 30 days and half are already gone, so hurry up. It's limited. All you gotta do is subscribe to this handsome guy's channel and join the Discord server in the description to become part of my financial downfall and get your gift card. Radioactive. Now here we have the mutation of the third most famous Imagine Dragons song. Bruh, these views are crazy. And now we also have Jandel Musk, because this next event involves both a rocket and also the best plant in all of Grow a Garden, known as our holy carrot. The event's name is the carrot. That's tough. When the event starts, this rocket, that's supposed to be a carrot but looks more like an orange pineapple, appears, and inside it is a regular-sized Jandel this time, which is rare since he usually shows up the size of the entire map. And you'll be given a mission. You sacrifice some plants for the rocket to eat, and once its fuel fills up, it blasts off into space, but not before hitting you with a full-on flashbang. Your screen goes pure white. Then when it fades back in, this giant light green fart cloud of radioactive gas spreads across the map, and the radioactive mutation gets randomly applied to your plants, giving them this neon green radioactive skin and a subtle glow around them. What's not subtle is the juicy 80 times multiplier radioactive gives to your plant. Subscribe so I don't starve. Just kidding. Actually, I'm not. SUNDRIED. Here we have one of the summer update mutations. Literally summer, because the first way to get this beauty that makes your plants really sun-dried, with this browner look like they've been scorched, is through the solar flare and heat wave events. The solar flare was when Jandel threw a giant sun in the middle of the map, causing that flare that had a chance to activate two mutations on the plant, Verdant and this sun-dried. And the other event is the heat wave, where the sun starts shooting those random beams sniping your plants, and if it hits one, it's gonna turn sun-dried. A better way to take advantage of this event and have more chances of getting the mutation is by using tanning mirrors, which is the tool that works in this event the same way the lightning rod works for rain events, because it redirects those beams straight to the plant you want. Just position that mirror facing your plant. It has 10 uses and used to be bought for 1 million shekels, but after an update, it became a craftable item. The plant with the sun-dried mutation will have this brown coloring and also carry a multiplier of 85x. Glitched. During the event called Dissonant, activated by admins, the sky turned dark, and the electric Jandel farmed this aura and summoned lightning strikes across the map. And if any of them hit your plant, it would apply the glitched mutation to it. For some reason, this Dissonant event is extremely similar to one of the OG events in Grow a Garden called Thunderstorm, which applies a 100 times mutation that I'll talk about later on, by the way. But at least this Dissonant one happens at night. Its multiplier is 85x, and its skin will make your plant semi-transparent, with that classic glitch effect coloring in shades of blue and purple. And of course, it will feature the classic glitch particles with the same colors. These mutations that make plants transparent or invisible are always super sick. Aurora. This one obviously comes from the Aurora Borealis event, which in real life is already this gorgeous vibe that doesn't even look real, and in Grow a Garden it's no different. The map gets this nighttime vibe and the aurora itself happens above you. Beautiful, right? When the event is active, all your plants get a 50% growth speed boost, and obviously, you have a chance, even if a low one, of the event applying the Aurora mutation to your plants. It's a weather event that's not exclusively dependent on Jandel's admin abuse like some of the events mentioned earlier, but it's still way harder to trigger than other weather events that apply more basic mutations. Especially because Aurora is a mutation with a 90x multiplier, so obviously it knows its worth. And its skin is this masterpiece here. Your plant will glow in blue and purple colors while surrounded by this aura and also releasing some smoke in those same two colors. FOXFIRE CHAKRA. Here we have another pet-dependent mutation, and this time it's from the first prismatic tier pet added to the game, the Kitsune. The hype around this pet was massive, not just for being the first prismatic pet, or for its badass appearance, or even its OP ability, but for all that drama involving the absurdly tiny 0.08% chance of getting the pet, which sparked huge backlash for Jandel. But no one cares about that anymore, just the Kitsune's insane passive. Every 22 minutes, it goes to another player's plant, applies the CHAKRA mutation, which is the Kitsune's default 15x multiplier mutation, and then steals the plant, duplicating it and giving it to you. Basically, it's like the raccoon, but more of a gentleman, since it gives a free mutation gift before stealing the plant. but there's a very small and very, very rare chance it applies the FOXFIRE chakra, which is the Chad and OP version of the usual mutation it applies. And this one, instead of having a 15x multiplier, has 90x. But yeah, it's really rare for it to trigger FOXFIRE instead of the normal chakra. And its skin will make your plant look like this. It'll be on fire with red flames, emitting sparkles, and also surrounded by this red electric effect. The plant ends up looking like it came straight out of an anime. Corrupted FOXFIRE chakra. And in the second part of the Zen update, the Corrupted update, Jandel added another kitsune, the Corrupted kitsune, which this time had a 1% chance of being obtained, so it's less pay to win, and with a different passive, but basically the same result as the regular kitsune, just in a different variation. Because this kitsune doesn't steal, it has class, it has style, and also powers, because every 21 minutes, it twerks and launches these corrupted energy balls at 9 plants, and each one has a 20% chance of receiving its default mutation, also with a 15x multiplier, Corrupted Chakra. And then there's also that small and nearly non-existent chance of triggering the Corrupted FOXFIRE Chakra, which is this kitsune's version of the 90 times multiplier mutation. And its skin is a blue variation of the regular FOXFIRE, with the same fire effect on the plant and electrical effects. Which of the two kitsunes is your favorite? BRAINROT. Still during the admin abuse war, the battle with the most aura in Grow a Garden, specifically in the very first event of this admin abuse, Sammy didn't want to wait for Jandel to arrive, so he went ahead and launched his first attack, slamming his staff into the map and opening the portals of Steal a BRAINROT, and the animals began doing their usual classic parade. And some of them left the catwalk and wandered into the gardens, giving a chance for the mutation called BRAINROT to be applied to your plants. But unfortunately, the party ended early when Jandel showed up and shot a laser in the face of all the BRAINROTs, and also had a staring contest with Sammy. Totally safe and not dangerous at all. The other method of getting it is through another mythical pet like the Apple Gazelle, which came as a reward from this event called Lemon Lion. Yeah, it's self-explanatory. Its passive called Brain Roar makes its roar apply the BRAINROT mutation to a random plant every 5 minutes. And to the disappointment of all professional haters of anything related to BRAINROTs, unfortunately this mutation has a pretty sweet multiplier of 100 times. Its skin makes the plant shoot confetti, emit a pulsing circular aura, and also includes the man face PNG, all of it in RGB Maelstrom. To get this beauty, you'll need 2 different mutations that will fuse and turn into the OP Maelstrom. The 2 required mutations for this are CYCLONIC, the already mentioned 50x mutation applied by the pet griffin, and Tempestuous, a 19x mutation that is actually also made from the fusion of 2 other different mutations, which in this case are Windstruck and Twisted, both wind-related mutations that require 2 separate events to be applied. But thankfully, we also have the Pterodactyl, a mythical dino pet, whose passive gives you a chance to apply either Windstruck or Twisted to your plants. The recipe for this Maelstrom is kinda difficult, right? But is it worth it? Well, it gives you a 100 times multiplier, and its skin stays similar to the Cyclonic, but with neon blue parts and way more particles and stars surrounding the plant. It's very, very nice looking. BEANBOUND. To the surprise of a total of 0 people, this event called Bean Aura also depends on Jandel farming aura, just like most other OP events in Grow a Garden, and unfortunately, it's also admin exclusive. This event also happened during the admin abuse war, where Jandel appeared completely neon green on the map as the Bean God and also doing that famous T-pose, and for some reason he was naked. The event had a pretty simple instruction to activate the mutation. 4 simultaneous players just needed to hold a beanstalk while standing close and near the radioactive Jandel, and then all 4 beanstalks would have the BEANBOUND mutation applied to them, turning their skin into a shiny, strong neon green. After that ritual with the 4 players, other random plants also had a small chance to receive BEANBOUND while the event was still active, even if they weren't beanstalks, and all plants with this mutation had a 100 times value multiplier. And I think Jandel might be running out of new ideas because this event is practically a copy of another OG event, one that applies a 150 times mutation, which I'll talk about later. So stay until the end, because the next mutation is Shocked. Now everyone's spoiled with all these new mutations and their massive multipliers, but back in the day, Shocked was the real flex for OG players, because most of these 90x and 100x mutations didn't even exist back then. First of all, it gives the plant this glow with an intense brightness, and for some unknown reason, it doesn't have all those electric arcs and flashy electricity effects like the other mutations, even though it's directly related to that. There are a few ways to get it, and the first is during the thunderstorm event, which everyone's already familiar with. You have to hope that lightning strikes right on top of your plant to trigger the mutation. Then there's Jandel's Storm, where the giant monkey plays Zeus and Aura farms while throwing lightning bolts all over the gardens. For both cases, you can use the lightning rod gear to attract lightning strikes to your specific plants and boost your chances of getting your preferred plant shocked. Also, if you have a shocked pet, it works as a walking lightning rod and does the same thing, but with unlimited uses. Lastly, there's the scientifically impossible method, a spray that shoots lightning. Like, how is that even possible? Anyway, it works, and it applies this mutation with a juicy 100x multiplier. And tomorrow, you will accidentally join a public server instead of a private one and end up having your best plant stolen and never seeing it again if you don't hit this beautiful big red button right here in the next 3 seconds. Just kidding again, but I mean, I wouldn't risk it, you know? PARADISAL. Going back to summer vibes, here we have another mutation added in the summer harvest, which also covers your plant with these sunbeam effects and completely coats it in this very specific green. Green must be Jandel's favorite color because there are like at least 8 different green mutations in the game. This one isn't exactly its own mutation, but rather a fusion of 2 different ones. When both are applied to the same plant, they're removed and replaced with this paradisal mutation, which also comes with a tasty 100x multiplier. The 2 required mutations are Verdant, which is another weaker summer mutation. And guess what? It's green too. And Sundried, the one with the 85x multiplier that I explained earlier. And remember that event that could trigger SUNDRIED, where Jandel threw a giant sun on the map, the solar flare? Well, it also has a chance to apply Verdant. The other 2 ways are through the pet scarlet macaw, which has a 16% chance of applying the Verdant mutation every 8 minutes, and through the Verdant spray mutation. And combining both, your plant goes to paradise. ALIENLIKE. Who doesn't love UFOs? Certainly not Jandel, because in the alien invasion event, he brought them all to check out the gardens. They carry a small chance of applying ALIENLIKE to your plants, which, no doubt, has one of the coolest skins out of all mutations in the game. It can make a plant completely transparent or just partially see-through. It has this cyan blue color, emits this smoke, and also has these kinda electric effects. Seriously, isn't that sick? Which mutation do you think gives the prettiest plant skin in the game? Drop it in the comments. Its multiplier is just as pretty as the skin, 100x. But honestly, I think a lot of people expected more from this event. I mean, it brought something people love, aliens, with a high multiplier mutation. But the event itself was just some PNG UFOs appearing and disappearing far away. The day didn't even turn dark, nor was there any classic abduction light animation. There are so many better and more polished events that applied way weaker mutations. And ALIENLIKE, which had so much potential with aliens and a strong mutation, kinda fell short. Just like you're falling short by not helping me hit 50,000 subs. Jandel is sad with everyone watching this video who hasn't subscribed yet to this beautiful channel that also only has beautiful subscribers. Don't hurt Jandel's feelings, bruh. Please subscribe. Touchdown! Here we have the best, and also the last, mutation caused by an admin abuse during the Travis Swift event, which wrapped up the first ever Fortnite-style collab celebrity event in the game. And obviously, the finale had to be the most badass one, and with the strongest mutation. And it truly was. Jandel threw a pass directly at the goalpost, and Travis flew at the ball, hung on the goalpost, and pulled off the Jordan pose, perfectly fitting the event's name, Post Dunk. While he hung there, your plants had multiple chances of getting touchdown. The best admin abuse mutation with a 105x multiplier. Besides the absolute aura this event had, with the Jordan pose, the goalpost looking sick like that, and the high multiplier. The mutation skin makes the top of your plant shoot orange and red star particles too. It's pretty sick. Was the admin abuse event with Taylor Kelsey the best one so far in your opinion? Celestial. Being one of the best mutations that come from a standard in-game event, and not dependent on an admin triggering it. Here we have the mutation that comes from the meteor shower weather event. That usually happens at night, and the meteors fall sporadically, and also just one at a time. And the tricky part is, you need one of those fiery space rocks to land directly on your plant's head to trigger this mutation with a juicy 120x multiplier. But just like you can use the lightning rod to attract lightning during storms, you can also do the same to lure these shooting stars. For that, you'll need the Star Caller, a legendary tool you can buy from the Sky Merchant, dropping a humble price of just 12 million shekels, all of that just to use the Star Caller only 3 times. Not much, right? But what did you expect? The Celestial multiplier is 120x, so of course the Star Caller would be limited. The Celestial plant will have these purple and yellow sparkles and reflect light. Nothing too crazy in my opinion. Galactic. Now this right here is a proper event for a proper mutation. And yeah, it's space-themed too. During the admin abuse event, Space Travel, the entire map turned into a spaceship with 2 thrusters and took everyone to outer space. Gravity obviously got lower, and there were a bunch of floating asteroids, and you could actually jump onto them. But the biggest mystery to this day is that Jandel mentioned an Easter egg during the event and even dropped a hint, quoting Isaac Newton. And many players believe that this Easter egg is, in fact, the most secretive mutation in all of Grow a Garden, the one with the highest multiplier in the entire game, over 200 times, and pretty much a myth in the Grow a Garden community. And I'll talk all about this secret mutation later, so go ahead and subscribe to this beautiful channel so I can afford to pay my editor and keep funding the limited time daily giveaways happening over on my Discord server. Link in the description, by the way. But back to it, the galactic mutation will turn your plant this color right here, and some parts of it might glow along with some particles coming off of it. Its multiplier is also a sweet, juicy 120x Disco. Both the mutation and the event that triggers it have the same name. During the event, the ground turns into a literal dance floor, switching between green and yellow, and your character starts doing one of Roblox's default dances. While it's happening, there's a chance for you to get the Disco mutation, which comes with a 125x multiplier and gives your plant a skin with that same RGB from Rainbow, but instead of a slow fade, it just pulses and flashes between the glowy colors. The event used to play a song called Raining Tacos, but it was removed for some unknown reason, but probably it was because Jandel got copyright sniped. Another way to get the mutation is with the Disco Bee, the super rare divine tier pet with a 0.25% chance of hatching from the anti-bee egg. It has a 16% chance to apply the Disco mutation every 15 minutes or so, and the last added method to get this beautiful 125 times mutation is one of the many special sprays, Meteoric. This one also comes from an exclusive event that only admins can activate. It's basically like the Meteor Shower, the event that gives you the celestial mutation with a 120x multiplier. But instead of little and gentle falling stars on the map, like in the Meteor Shower, this other exclusive admin event, called Meteor Strike, launches full-on giant fire comets into random people's gardens, and the sky turns this apocalyptic red like the world's literally ending. This mutation's beautiful multiplier is a sweet 125x, which is almost identical to the 120x of the Celestial mutation. Another thing similar between these two mutations is that just like Celestial, the Meteoric plant skin is honestly underwhelming. It only gives the plant this yellowish smoke, which kinda sucks for a mutation with such a high multiplier. It could be way better visually. Comparing the Meteor Strike from Meteoric to the Meteor Shower from Celestial, you can't attract the comets with a star collar, and it's also an admin exclusive event, and the multiplyer's almost the same. But at least, the apocalypse aesthetic with the red sky of the Meteor Strike is way cooler though. VOIDTOUCHED. Black Hole is the most beautiful admin abuse in all of Grow a Garden. Change my mind. Just look at this masterpiece. Sadly for all the Interstellar fans out there, me included, this is also an admin-only event. During the event, this gorgeous purple black hole appears in the sky, with orbs floating around it. The map turns dark, gravity drops, and you can jump super high, even into the black hole itself if you've got a tall plant nearby. It literally feels straight out of Interstellar. Seriously, I really love that movie. And the reason the black hole it's not a standard event is just because of how valuable the mutation it gives is the VOIDTOUCHED mutation. This one has a 135x multiplier, and the skin that comes with it is just as stunning as its multiplier. It gives your plant a purple swirling aura like it's sitting at the center of its own personal black hole. Everything about VOIDTOUCHED is perfect. The event, the skin, the multiplier, the aesthetics, everything. Almost as perfect as you beautiful souls who support this channel by simply subscribing. It costs nothing for you and means everything to me. Also join the Discord. We've got daily and time-limited gift card giveaways going on over there. DAWNBOUND. This one used to be the king of mutations for a long time. It originally came from an admin abuse during the Friendship update on the Sun God event. When the event started, the sky turned into this golden hour weather, and Jandel showed up doing the iconic T-pose while radiating this absolute godly solar aura. And for some reason, he was also naked. To get the DAWNBOUND mutation, which at the time had the highest multiplier ever in Grow a Garden's history at a whopping 150x, you needed to gather 4 players, standing together in front of Sun God Jandel, each holding the best and most important plant of the update, the sunflower. Then Jandel would blast them with a beam, giving all of them the DAWNBOUND mutation on their sunflowers, leaving them glowing beautifully and intensely like this. The catch was that Dawnbound used to be Sunflower exclusive. That's why it was the Sun God event after all. But now, with the addition of pets being able to also have mutations, the Ascended mutation, currently the rarest mutation a pet can get in the game, allows the pet to apply the Dawnbound's 150x multiplier to any of your plants. Not only on the Sunflower anymore like it used to be back in the day. And the best part? It only happens every 6 whole hours. Harmonized Foxfire. This one depends on the rarest mutations applied by both Kitsune variants. If both Chakra and Corrupt Chakra are applied on the same plant, each one with a 15 by multiplier, they fuse, forming the Harmonized Chakra mutation, which comes with a purple effect skin, since it mixes red and blue of both Kitsune's standard mutations, and also a 35 times multiplier, which is trash, for the purpose of this video of the best ones obviously. But the same fusion is also possible with the rarest variants of these Kitsune's standard mutations, the Foxfire Chakras, both with 90x multipliers. Combining the two creates Harmonized Foxfire Chakra, which has an outrageous multiplier of, wait for it, 190x. Jesus Christ. It's so rare I couldn't even find solid video footage of its skin. Only this wiki entry that says it has a mix of red and blue colors, pulses between warm and cool tones, and emits star particles in both blue and red colors. Cosmic. Bruh, I still remember the good old days when the most OP mutations in the game struggled to even reach 100 times, and now a new, better, absurd mutation is added every single week. And this is the case with Cosmic. Well, not entirely new in this case, since Cosmic is also a fusion of 2 existing mutations that, when combined, form this one. And the 2 required mutations are Celestial, the one with the 120x multiplier that you can get from the Meteor Shower event, and also from another event I didn't mention during its explanation, which is the Crystal Beam event. Sorry about that. The other required mutation is Aurora, that beautiful purple 90x1 that's applied during the Aurora Borealis event, and also in the Crystal Beam event. But hear me out. In my defense, Crystal Beam was added after I had already written the script. That's why I didn't mention it for Shocked, Celestial, and Aurora. Please don't judge me. Anyway, Cosmic gives your plant an insane 210 times multiplier, and its skin cycles between neon yellow, pink, and purple, with that signature Aurora glow, storm-charged. Following the same formula of combining modest mutations that give rise to absolute monsters. Storm-charged is the result of one of those fusions, but for this one, you'll need 3 mutations instead of just 2. To get this beauty, you'll need the same tempestuous mutation, the 19x one I mentioned earlier for the Maelstrom combo. Also required is the static mutation, a weaker one, with only 8x, applied by the electric divine pet Raiju. And last but not least, the strongest of them all, Shocked, with a 100 times multiplier that can be obtained in 30,000 different ways, beyond just being hit by lightning, like you can see here in this image from the wiki. Speaking of which, you know what else has 30,000? Our channel. Thank you all so much for that. And if you're enjoying this video full of questionable humor and cinematic editing, and don't want a lightning bolt to hit your head like it does to shocked plants, then click that button and subscribe to this beautiful channel now. Back to the point. Combining these 3 mutations, 8x, 19x, and 100x, you'll get a storm-charged plant with a diabolical multiplier of 220x. Since every storm-charged plant image I found also had 365 other mutations stacked, making them look like some Disney attraction with so many colors and effects, I'll owe you an image of what the raw storm-charged skin actually looks like. But I'd guess it has something to do with electricity. Sorry. Starised. Let's address the Jandel in the room. I mean the elephant. This mutation is to grow a garden the same thing that Herobrine is to Minecraft, the biggest mystery in the game, with many claiming it's just a myth or a massive misunderstanding. During this space travel event, the same one where everyone got the galactic mutations, Jandel said there would be an Easter egg. And during the event, some item prices like sprinklers and sugar apple were reduced to just 4 Robux at the shops, but it turned out to be just a visual glitch, and not the actual Easter egg. Jandel also said, "This event has a secret that won't be revealed," and gave the hint, "What goes up must come down." That's a reference to a quote by Isaac Newton, or as many say, the inventor of gravity. From that, players theorized it had something to do with the floating comets that popped on the map, and if you climbed the tallest one, maybe it would probably fall, since what goes up must come down, right? Wrong, because absolutely nothing happened. And then later, the community started thinking the real requirement might be 4 players doing the event together instead of just 1, just like in the DAWNBOUND event, all 4 standing on the comet together. Because in that way, they'd have enough weight to bring the comets down using gravity and trigger the STARISED mutation. And you guys remember how the only plant with a ripe variant in the entire game is the sugar apple, an actual apple. And what happens when an apple finally turns ripe up there in real life? That's right, they fall. They fall specifically on Newton's head, the same guy whose quote Jandel used as the hint. So the main theory is 4 players must be holding a ripe sugar apple, and they have to climb the tallest asteroid in order for it to fall, triggering what people believe is the secret STARISED mutation. Its multiplier? 230 times, the highest and rarest in the game. I couldn't find an official image of the skin, but this YouTuber here named Cheddar Balls made a concept art of what it'd probably look like. The plant would turn completely black with dots, basically simulating the space and stars, and it also would have larger white stars scattered throughout the whole plant. And if you also want to see every other mutation in the game, just click the video that's popping up here on the side, and don't forget to subscribe so neither I nor the editors starve. Your favorite creator, HowBlocks.